Before we go, I did have a question for you.
Yes.
Get your thoughts on this. So if you were an investor, where would you say is the hottest sector right now to have the biggest gains in? And which one do you think you should hold off on according to these five?
I'm not always the best at predicting that. Other than what I do see here, and taking into account my 27 years of watching this cycle out, I think there's going to be a big opportunity for office owners or office investors to solve a problem there, to rebrand that. I just think it's going to be the case. I don't know if that means people are going to default or where things are at overall. The vacancy has been higher there anyway. It's the highest vacancy in the market. Really good managers are still building. I mean, they're building more office. They're building more office here in Utah, which really did surprise me, but they're filling it up. They're giving the amenities and working with companies to fill that need.
Well, and do you think that maybe the office space right now could kind of be what the hotel space was a year back?
That's a good point. It's something we've talked about. I think that's actually a very good point. And if we were making that where the retail was, and I think there's an opportunity there because Elon Musk is building in the Twitter some sleeping space. Well, that's residence space. I mean, are they sleeping there for short periods of time, or is it for a shift? I mean, right? It sounds a little goofy when you're talking that way. What I think we're seeing is space that can, if there's cities and zoning and some of those allowances there, could be. There's some people that would love to live right next to their office space. Or converting certain floors to that. I think it can make sense.
I think so too.
There's the one nice thing about the office is there's more parking, right? They've allocated parking in some of these larger complexes. It's covered parking, it's secure parking. I don't know how that's going to be affected. I mean, every project's going to be a little different, but I do think that is, I think you make a really good point there, of where there is what appears to be bleeding and a problem, and nobody has come up quite with the solution yet. Which I really didn't see retail turning like that. I mean, it was not doing well before. Amazon was happening before the pandemic hit, right? It spurted only more so, and their vacancy and all the fears accelerated. Well, I mean, here we are 2 years later, and it's Imperfect Equilibrium across the entire country. What an amazing story, really. So I say it doesn't go too fast. I think you've got these office markets, and again, that was across the country, right? That was the nation, suburban and downtown market. They're taking all of that into account. They're in recovery or recession. Then you go back, and it's kind of all over the board, right? It's interesting that it shows it all over the board, in the other sectors, because you think that more of those would be down in that market. I think what they're taking is some of these larger markets with a lot of space, New York, Boston, San Francisco, some of these that have traditionally been up there. But it's where people still want to live, it appears there. So it'll be interesting to see who can, resolve this issue. I just see that being a good opportunity there. And I think the rest of the product type, here's the interesting story. From everything I've heard, increase in interest rates have cooled the financing, right? So projects that were planned or in that early planning stages, but they want to build industrial or more multifamily. If they're not past that kind of point that they've already broke ground or they're going, they're holding off in most cases. Obviously not everybody is, but so I think what we're going to see is we need more industrial. When you're 2 or 3% vacancy, we need more. It's not going to be filled up, but these developers are going to cool. They're not bringing that. If they've not broke ground, my understanding is that's what they're going to do, right? They're going to hold off. So which one's better? I don't know. It's probably a benefit to them long term because the land values were really pushing up there. I've never seen industrial land values as high as they are, right? Or were at that point, and what things were selling for. But so I really see if you're specialized and you understand each of these markets, I think there's great opportunity for everybody. I know almost every time I say I'm bullish, but there's just some interesting things. We're not dealing with the things we did in 08.
Yeah.
There's not an overbuild and without occupancy. I mean, we're tight on the housing. We're tight in some of the other sectors. They just haven't figured office out. People are still working, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They're working, except for some, I don't know, I've been told some 40 millionaires. People aren't even looking for work anymore. The point is, those that are looking, it's a tight market.
Yeah.
So they're working. Are they still working from home? Are they having to be coming into the office now? I think that's all going to work itself out over the next 24 months, you know? And so people that understand what's happening there, I think there's some great opportunity because there's not a lot of new product that will be coming on, right?
Yeah.
So I think things will work out pretty well. I think if you understand that office market, you're going to do well. Obviously, those retailers and the guys that owned real estate, or the retail power centers and neighborhood centers, they figured it out. You know, I mean, it's very interesting. I don't know where the overall rates are, but they're obviously in a good position. The entire country's sitting there.
Yeah, exactly.
Equally. So but a very good point. I think that office market, if there is a sector that looks like it's being beat and hammered, it could be in the next 18 to 24 months that sector where maybe not the whole country, but in some of those markets where guys were able to figure this out and streamline that process, they could be in a great position for what maybe they could pick it up for. Yeah. Similar to hotels as well, as you said. But so that's it. So I think again, we want to bring all these things to you to take the mystery out of this business. Anybody can do this business. You can become an owner, you can be an agent, and you can carve out a niche for making a good living. We would love to have you be. If you have further questions or want more information, you can always reach out to us at the different places where we post that. But at the end of the day, we're trying to take this mystery out of it and say, hey, transition, get into real estate, make your dreams come true. That's what we've had, and we've got. We want to replace that and give back to the community, which is really as much of a reason why we've started the show as anything. Bring greater wealth and take that mystery out and say, hey, anybody can do this. So we do appreciate it. Any subscribe or like, please. It just gives us more opportunity to get the additional information and guests, which we do have coming. We got some great potential shows coming up with brokers and owners and some business owners as well that have been successful in this market and maybe give good ideas and also a pat on the back to them for their innovation. Until then, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.